Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the All 32 NFL Review Show. It's your host, Wayne Breezy. Crystal Peachy B is in the place to be. It's good to be back. We're headed into Week 11. But before we get into Week 11, we got to recap Week 10. Peachy, what's going on this fine Tuesday?
Nothing, man. Work was crazy, but you know, when you got all these machines coming in, it's gonna be that way. You've got all kind of management in town and everything like that. So, you know, it's never fun. Anybody that knows, when you have like all the upper management there and everything. Gotta mind your P's and Q's. You gotta do all these things different than you would normally do when they're not there. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm just glad that I can talk like my favorite sport, like in the whole wide world, NFL.
Yes.
That's not bread and butter. That's what I've loved ever since I was a little girl. So the NFL.
I love it. Listen, a lot of NFL news going down. We're going to cover the latest in the NFL standings. We're going to go off the Week 11 preview playoff picture. We're going to go through the latest in NFL news as far as injuries, all this stuff. There's so many things that's going on. And we got the breaking news from the Buffalo Bills that happened later on today. We're going to touch on that. Look, you know what, Peachy? I got to ask you a question. Are the Buffalo Bills in panic mode?
Oh, they're 100% in panic mode because they decided to
hold it. I just wanted to get the time. You could explain it. You're gonna have your moment. I promise you're gonna have your moment. 100%. I'm at 101%. I just wanted to beat Peachy out on this one, but stay tuned. Listen, let's recap the NFL so we can have some time. We can sit here and talk about what's going on around the NFL. Peachy, bunch of games this week. Bunch of upsets this week. A bunch of upsets this week. Give me one of your upset games of the week. Give me one. I'll give you one.
Okay. One of my favorite upset games was the Browns-Ravens.
Ooh. Tough game.
Yeah.
Tough game.
Yeah. The Ravens. Definitely losing. The Baltimore losing that game. Deshaun Watson, you know, remembering how to finally play football and that drive that he, you know, and those drives that he had towards the end of the game, just vintage Watson, like, you know, what we saw in Houston, you know, all those years. And so, yeah, it's definitely that game. Not to mention it was a rivalry game anyway, a division matchup. But I really, like, I picked Baltimore. Like, that was not on my schedule for being an upset.
So I even though I picked Baltimore, I knew it was going to be a difficult game because you got now you could say the red hot Cleveland Browns, because they're red hot. They haven't lost. Since they beat the 49ers, they've been on a crazy win streak, if I'm not mistaken. They're hot. And so, like, I didn't expect them to win, but I didn't expect this game to be a blowout. Now, this game started off like a blowout, but then turnovers will kill a team.
Right.
Was it me, or did like the Ravens and the the Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, they had the same exact type of a turnover? It was like a deflection, interception, pick six or something like that. It was crazy. 33-31. The Browns end up being victorious, which leads them to their upcoming game in Week 11, which is another division rival game against the Steelers, who won as well. So another back-to-back AFC Norths, which then you got the Bengals and the Ravens going at it this week on Thursday Night Football. I just love football. I just love it. I love it.
It's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
I know who your upset game is going to be, and I was actually going to pick that one, but I decided to go with
so
this one instead.
I got the Broncos and the Bills. I'm going to go with them because
no, that wasn't even it.
There you go. Fine. See, you got me wrong. See, and here's the thing, because I didn't see the Broncos having any chance traveling all the way across country to a cold ass Buffalo to play on Josh Allen, who they just got beat the week before, and you just had to say to yourself, the Bills are going to come out and they're going to make a statement in this particular game.
Yes.
And look, they got all the way down to the end. They turned the ball over way too many times in that game. Their receivers aren't catching, but it was just bad juju for the Buffalo Bills. And next thing you know, I mean, and here's the thing, penalties at the worst opportune time, right?
Yep.
Too many men on the field. They missed the field goal.
That was that right there to me. Wait, never mind. Whenever I talk about it,
you can talk about it. Too many men on the field. They miss a field goal.
Yeah, I know that, but it has to do with what I got to say about the news today.
Okay.
So but
just a quick recap. I mean that's kind of like what it is.
Right.
Were you gonna? What was the game you had me picking? I'm curious.
Oh, you already know which one it is. It's the Bengals Texans.
Nah, cause something about that DeMeco Ryans team and your boy CJ Stroud. That defense gave up 150 freaking points, but the offense scores 151.
It's so insane how they can look like, everything is just going to start going downhill once a mistake is made. It looks like it's just going to fall apart. And then all of a sudden, that offense just comes out there and just deals down the field to whoever's out there. And they had some people that got hurt during the game too. They had one that got hurt and actually came back into the game. Which really shocked me because of the way that he came off the field, one of their receivers. But they the moxie, the toughness, everything that CJ has mixed in with a great offensive coordinator who just knows how to dial it up, can recognize everything that's going on, knows where to throw it to. It was just really awesome. I literally did not think that game was going to go the way it did. I didn't.
I didn't think the Texans were going to win,
right?
But I didn't think it was going to be an easy win for the Bengals. Because, again, the Bengals weren't fully arsenaled like they were. The Bengals were fully loaded against the Niners.
Yeah.
Like, fully loaded. Higgins was out there. No Higgins in this game.
Right.
And just like the Niners struggled with winning without Deebo Samuel, the Bengals struggle without TJ Higgins.
Right.
So
talk about it.
And so, I knew it was going to be different. I knew it was going to be slightly different. Now, I thought the Bengals will find a way to pull off this win, but you can't be in a close game against CJ Stroud because he is just going to play backyard football and find ways to get the ball. Mind you, they're without what's my guy? Nico Collins was out.
Right.
Okay. And I'm like, dang. So then now there's Noah Brown, excuse me. So I'm like, who's that? Chilling on somebody waiver wire somewhere, just chilling. So now he has a great game. Singletary, we just talked about. You said Singletary.
Just talked about Devin Singletary.
And I was like, wait a minute now. I don't know what happened last week, but the week before when he came in, he was decent. That man had 150 plus yards, a touchdown, like Singletary balled out. They had a run game. They kept it close. But yeah, man, as fiery as that Cincinnati Bengals defense was, it's something about when they play AFC teams. Like, it's different. When they play NFC teams, they just seem prepared. Now, that doesn't mean the NFC is weak.
Weren't they without Trey Hendrickson?
Did he not play as well?
I can't remember. I know he got hurt. I just didn't know if he played in that game.
It's possible.
Because
I don't remember.
Their defense just didn't look the same.
Well, I mean, look, they
didn't.
Well, when you're playing a quarterback like CJ Stroud, he's a different type of quarterback that you have to defend him differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like he's mobile, but he's a pocket passer. And so like you have to defend him differently. I just don't think Cincinnati was able. Now if Henderson did get hurt in that game or he didn't play in that game, it makes a lot of sense why that game was the way it was. But since he got beat,
so he did play. He did play in that game.
All right.
Yeah. So it just like you said, I mean, even because you had people that were like, oh yeah, he did that against Tampa. It's Tampa. On the game winning drive that he came back in the game. He's a closer. Like that's what he does. And I really like the fight they showed in the game was amazing. How they are, and if the season ended today, the Houston Texans would be in the playoffs.
We're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to go to the playoff picture if it ended as of headed into week 11. Here's a kicker. Here's a surprise to me. The Cardinals defeating the Falcons 25-23. Kyler Murray played in this game, and I knew I should have picked the Cardinals over the Falcons just because Kyler Murray was playing. Not only did Kyler Murray play, Peachy, James Conner was active. He was back. Michael Wilson had a game. Kyler Murray was running all over the field. It was just a different game plan. I mean, the Cardinals were able to squeak out a win. Very surprising. If you had to pick the most boring game, which game would you pick? I know which one I have, but which game would you say was the most boring game? Was it the Jacksonville 49ers game? Or was it?
It was actually Cowboys Giants.
Really? 49 points was boring to you?
Yes, it was boring because you weren't getting nothing from the other side.
Well, I mean, you could have said that about Jacksonville. How you gonna say nah? Right, Jacksonville ain't do shit, and at least the Giants scored. Mm-hmm. You want to know what the most boring game was to me?
What?
There should be no more games in Germany, including this type of Patriots team.
You know what? I forgot all about that one.
10-6. 10-6. All right, PG had to go out. She'll be back very shortly, so let me go ahead and fix that screen. 10-6. The New England Patriots lose. They were the home team over in Germany. And this is not a shot at Germany. It's just that the Patriots just aren't that team this year. And the Colts found a way to squeak out a win. Jonathan Taylor had a pretty decent game. And Mac Jones just continues to turn over the darn ball. Like, he just continues to... And it's crazy because Mac Jones is driving down the field, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And next thing you know, boom, interception, game over. Brandon Ben Dobbs is balling in Minnesota, looking like Dawson on Street Fighter. Yoga Flame. I like that. Yoga. Oh, man, I remember him. Very well. I didn't like him much because when he punched, his arms would stretch out, and that I felt like it was too slow. But yeah, Dobbs is balling, and it's probably because I don't think he knows much of the offense, and he's just going out there and he's ad-libbing, he's running. He's doing the same stuff he did in Arizona, just with a better supporting cast. You know what's crazy about the Minnesota Vikings? I may have been wrong about the Cleveland Browns. GSU for Life says he thinks that they lost to Seattle after they beat us, which they did because they ended up going out to Seattle. And I thought that the Browns were going to beat Seattle, which it came down to the end. So thank you, GSU for Life. But Minnesota hasn't lost since they beat the 49ers. I believe they're on a 5 or 6 game win streak, and they look hot. And you know what's crazy about the Vikings, Peachy? They're about to get Justin Jefferson back. Okay. They're about to get Justin Jefferson back. I don't know how y'all feel about Minnesota, but I know the Minnesota the Skull, what's their name? Skull Gang. They are going crazy right now over in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So Dobbs is balling B. Thanks for pointing that out. But that was football last week. It was a crazy week. Oh, you know who balled out as a wide receiver that I feel like is not getting any love this year in the NFL? He's not getting any love. He's been consistent every single game. I don't have his stats pulled up right in front of me because I didn't mean to point this out. San Francisco has to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're going to have to deal with this guy named Mike Evans. Mike Evans is balling as a wide receiver in the NFL. And I didn't start him this week. You know who I benched him for? Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, goodness, that's crazy. So this we're having something weird that's going on here. My son just let me know, so I apologize for this. I don't know this anything about it. It's what's going on with that Wi-Fi now.
Okay. If you think it's easier to get on your phone and do it, use your phone. You might try that. If not, yeah. We'll just deal with it. Cool. No problem. But that's the recap of the NFL. We were talking about the standings earlier, so let's go ahead and get the standings popping. Let's see what's going on as of right now. And as you can see, this is where people are sitting in the division. You got Miami ahead in the AFC East. All right. Jacksonville 6-3. They still remain the top of the AFC South. Okay. As far as the North, I like the North. You got Baltimore. How crazy is in 1 week Cincinnati goes from the top to the bottom? Woo! All right. Baltimore ended up losing too. We were just talking about that, right? But Pittsburgh won. Cleveland won. They stay at the top. When it comes to things, we're going to check out the playoff picture. And then the AFC West, Kansas City is there. The Raiders they won 2 games back to back under Mr. Pierce. That's fire, right? That's fire. And check this out. Denver's on a 2-game winning streak too. So the AFC West might be back into something. Big game upcoming this week. You got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are going to have to go on the road to take on the Chiefs. That's going to be crazy. As far as the NFC, we were just talking about the Eagles. They're at the top of the NFC East. 6-3 Dallas Cowboys are there as well. Hold on 1 second. Let me just send her this link so she can have it if she's going to join off her phone. All right. She's got it. All right. And then you got the NFC North. You got Detroit. You got the red hot Minnesota Vikings. Green Bay, Chicago, they're probably a wash this year. You go into the south of the NFC, you got the Saints. This has got to be the weakest division of football. The Saints at 5-5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4-5, the Atlanta Falcons at 4-6, and then the Carolina Panthers at 1-8. And then you go to the NFC West. You got the 2 top teams, San Francisco 49ers. They still remain first place over the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks are there as well, tied with the Niners. Then you got the Rams and you got the Cardinals, who just gotta win. You know what I mean? So look, the NFL standings are pretty solid right now, and this is when it's going to get down to the nitty gritty. It's going to be crazy. You said both Souths are weak. Carson, my man Carson says both Souths are weak. Let's take a look at both Souths. I know that the Niners beat the dog snot out of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I still like the Jacksonville Jaguars, if that makes any sense. I still like the Jaguars. I like their upcoming matchup as well. And I think watch Trevor Lawrence have a bounce back game and play pretty well. I like their upcoming matchup. Who do the Jaguars have this upcoming week so you guys can know? Let's check it out. Boop 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 beep 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 beep. All right, so let's see. The Jaguars have the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, I just like their matchup, and it's cool what it is, right? So there are your NFC standings. Let's go to real quick. Let's go ahead and go to the playoff picture because I know people want to know what's going on with the Niners. All right, here we go. Here we go. So you got the first seeds. It's funny because they both had a bye last week. All right. You got the first seeds in the Kansas City Chiefs and the AFC. Let's go through the wild card round. All right. Because everything's wild card after that. You got the second seed. That means you have the Jacksonville Jaguars going against the Houston Texans. You would have the Baltimore Ravens going against the Houston Texans, the Jaguars going against the Browns, and then the Dolphins, the fourth seed, going against the Steelers. All right. And then you are in the hunt, which knocked out the Bengals, who were in the playoff picture last week. All right. As the eighth seed. All right. Then you got the Colts at the ninth seed, the Buffalo Bills, who are struggling, at the 10th seed, and then the Raiders at the 11th seed. You go to the NFC side, all right, you're going to have in that wild card round the number 2 Lions going against the number 7 Vikings, the number 3 49ers going against the Cowboys. Give me that, because the Cowboys got to come back to Santa Clara. I'm about that life. Then you got the Saints at 5-5 going against another NFC West team in the Seattle Seahawks. They'll be hosting the Seahawks. The Seahawks and you want that matchup. The Seahawks don't travel well. They don't play well on the road either. Well, technically, they don't play well when they come to the East Coast. I don't know what you guys consider New Orleans. Is that Southeast or South Midwest or whatever? But they don't play well when they have to travel. But then the 8th seed, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Washington Commanders in the 9th seed, the Atlanta Falcons in the 10th seed, and somehow in that 11th seed, which doesn't matter, you got the freaking Green Bay Packers just hanging around, right? Just hanging around. A lot of good stuff going on in the NFL right now. We're headed into week 11, and this is what the playoffs is looking like so far. The cool thing is you got some really good matchups this upcoming week that's going to start to separate these players. Start to separate these teams. All right, and so I'm super excited. We're currently working on Peachy's connection. She's having issues with the internet there. And then we're going to try to figure out if we can get her on her cell phone. If not, we'll get to the show, get through it, and be done, all right? So let's keep going. Let's go, all right, through some NFL news. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on in the NFL currently as we speak. Let's start. And I know, Peachy, I'll save that for last because if she is able to come back, she does want to touch on it. Let's talk about Texans linebacker Denzel Perryman. It's been suspended for 3 games, all right, for repeated violations of the NFL safety rules, all right? So he's been suspended for the next 3 games for repeated violations of the NFL safety rules. I feel like they're going to start having him. He's getting that Vontaze Burfict treatment right now as far as what's going on. So the next 3 games, Texans will be without their starting middle linebacker, Denzel Perryman. And so I'm curious to know, Peachy, how do you feel this may affect the Texans on defense? They do have some studs there. They have the rookie who I love so much. But this is going to affect their defense as a whole. They're going to be missing their starting middle linebacker. What are your thoughts about Denzel Perryman?
I think that they're definitely going to miss him a lot. And it just seems like that they keep losing defensive people. So it's definitely not going to help. And unfortunately, there's not really much out there. So, I mean, it's just bad. I hate it. Yeah. I hate it for these teams that are losing people. Like, it's just, this time of year, it sucks. The 49ers have been there. We definitely have been there. So we know all about it.
Yeah, one of the things about the NFL, I mean, you're going to face adversity at some point, and the question is, are you strong enough? Is your team strong enough to overcome the adversity? So for Coach DeMeco Ryans, a fan favorite, 49er fans still love and adore him. They're rooting for him, right? Like, this is just something that he's going to have to find a way to get his players to overcome. Something that I think they'll be all right. I mean, like I said, the Texans defense still finds ways to give up tons of points per game, but offensively, they click it. If they can run the ball, they're just fine. It opens up so much for that play action pass game. They don't seem to have a true number 1 wide receiver, but they have receivers that end up being number one for whatever week they step up. So yeah, this may hurt them defensively, but we'll see what happens to the Houston Texans. Also, as far as NFL news, let's talk about defensive end Bruce Irvin. All right, defensive end Bruce Irvin is signing with the Lions. He's signing with the Lions. Interesting, right? Old man Irvin. Didn't he play for the 49ers and then tore his pectoral bicep or a pectoral muscle in his chest or something like that? No, that's Malcolm. That's Malcolm Smith. I'm getting them mixed up. I just be thinking Seahawks. I don't think Irvin ever played for the Niners. I think that was Malcolm Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Another addition to the Lions defense. The Lions give up a lot of points too on defense, right? Let's see what they're averaging. Yeah. I just want to see what their defense gives up. Hold on one second. The Lions are ranked. Oh my gosh, they're they're close to the bottom. All right, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 20. They're 21st in points on defense. They give up about 22.6 points a game. You know what makes the Lions good, Peachy? They can score on offense.
Yep, they definitely can because they definitely have the weapons on offense, from two awesome running backs to all kinds of wide receivers, tight ends, all that. They're definitely set.
Ooh, excuse me. Let's go with cornerback Jack Jones, who was released from the New England Patriots due to failure to report to practice, according to the reports, has been claimed by guess who? The Las Vegas Raiders. Now, interesting story from them. Interesting story, and I like the story. And I think this may be good for Jack Jones. He's going to go to a team with familiarity, and he's going to reunite with his former high school coach, Antonio Pierce. And the Raiders are going to get a dog, right? They're going to get a dog. I thought Jack Jones was one of the best freaking cornerbacks in the NFL. For some reason, he just couldn't get right as far as like his attitude, his mental with the New England Patriots. And you know, the Patriots have a certain type of way. Now he's going to go to a team that probably don't care too much about his way or things like that. And so it's going to be interesting to see how, if Antonio Pierce, his former high school coach, his former college coach, like, can they help turn this young man around who has an abundance of talent at the quarterback position, especially in man coverage. It's going to be interesting to see if he'll be able to, you know, not resurrect his career, but, you know, shake all the bad stuff out and go to a different team that kind of has that bad boy mentality. He's going to be in the locker room with Max Crosby and those guys. It might be a good fit for Jack Jones. So I actually like it. I actually like this, that the Raiders are picking him up. The Jets have released running back Michael Carter, who couldn't find his way on the field. Now I'm glad. I've been waiting for this to happen. I've been waiting for this to happen. Okay. Now here's the thing. Dalvin Cook had a decent game the other night, and it's about time that they start giving Dalvin Cook the daggone reps. And so Michael Carter could barely get any reps. And so the Jets decided to release him, and it's good because now you can get some Dalvin Cook reps. If you guys still got Dalvin Cook in your fantasy team, this is good for you. But this will be really good for the Jets. They'll get a veteran running back there to help split the carries with the other running back that's there. I like this move. I thought the Jets were kind of trying to figure out, like he's just he specializes in pass catching. He reminds you of like a Jerick McKinnon, but that ain't the Jets. That's not what the Jets are looking to do. They got Breece Hall, and now they got Dalvin Cook, so they might have a really good 1-2 punch when it comes down to the run game for the New York Football Jets. Let's see. Dolphins release cornerback Kelvin Joseph. All right, he's no longer going to be a Dolphin. Listen, Jalen Ramsey is there. I think they're going to get their other cornerback, the other veteran guy, Xavier Howard, and all those guys. Like they're going to be just fine. Kelvin Joseph, they probably won't miss much. Besides, they had to make. They got River Craycraft back that they're bringing back from the IR. His practice window is going to open. You got Devon Achan. His practice window is opening, and so yeah, this is going to be crazy. Like, you know what I mean? This is going to be crazy. Calvin Joseph has been released by the Dolphins. Panthers add linebacker Tay Davis. So the Panthers added another linebacker to their core. It's going to be interesting to see because Brian Burns had the concussion last week. I'm curious to see how they come out this week with their defense. I hope Brian Burns is back. I know that their team isn't winning, but I just love when Brian Burns plays football. But they did add some more depth to their defense in adding linebacker Tay Davis. We got to talk about Ken Dorsey being fired from the Bills. Hopefully, Peachy will be able to get back into this conversation. But the Bills decided to move on from offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. Now, are the Bills in panic mode? And a lot of people may feel like they are. I can tell you right now, Josh Allen doesn't look good. He's turning the ball over at a high capacity. Like he just doesn't seem like the same Josh Allen. I don't think it was just Ken Dorsey though. Like I don't believe it was Ken Dorsey, all Ken Dorsey. Look, the Buffalo Bills haven't been able to do one thing for the past several years. That's run the ball. Their best running back option has been Josh Allen. He's not doing much of that this year, right? You know what I mean? So, like, I'm interested to see, like, all of a sudden, like, is this going to fix the offense? If I see Josh Allen run the ball, I'm going to be upset because that could have been done the whole time. They need to get a running back plan, running back game. Listen, I like Cook, but he ain't it. Like, they need to figure out how to run the ball successfully. And they haven't been doing that for the past several years, 6, 7 years. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think Dorsey was the issue. I think Dorsey more was the scapegoat. Listen, we ain't winning. We ain't scoring. You gots to go. Right? Like, we're not winning. We're not scoring. You guys gots to go. I tell you what, if they continue to lose, which I'm actually hoping for. I'm hoping, not to my Buffalo Bill fans out there, not hoping that, because maybe it's Sean McDermott. Maybe McDermott needs to be on the hot seat. But coordinators usually are the scapegoats and things like that. So we're going to see what happens. My man Fabulous says Dorsey, same as Wilkes situation. Yeah. Like, I don't think Wilkes was ever in the hot seat, though. I don't think Wilkes did anything wrong to be in the hot seat for the San Francisco 49ers. I think Wilkes had one bad play call, and even on that play call, there was poor execution. Now, I think they had a conversation about it in San Francisco, and I think Wilkes was like, you know what, bump it. You want me to do this? I'll do this. Cool, no problem. Right? But it's a little different on defense, offense. You need all the pieces working together. And it starts with the offensive coordinator. Now, it could be, and I get what you're saying, Fab. It's like, oh, you're saying he would have been the scapegoat. Got you. Yes. If the team kept losing, they would have probably got rid of him and he would have been the scapegoat. So, yeah, you're probably right. 100% correct. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the Buffalo Bills moving forward. But in my opinion, if they can't find a way to run the ball successfully, they're going to continue to struggle because teams know that it's Josh Allen, it's Stephon Diggs, it's Gabe Davis, it's Khalil Shakir. It's all of those dudes. That's what he's doing. James Cook, good pass catching back. As far as a running back, I still think that they struggle in that department. Peachy, Ken Dorsey has been fired. Do you think that's going to solve the problems over in Buffalo?
No. And I'm glad that I'm back just in time to like do my little rant because I don't know what was said or whatever while I was doing that, but he's being made a scapegoat. And that sucks because that is not the issue. Like, it's definitely not the issue. And I hate it when good coordinators or whatever are made to be the scapegoat, because that's kind of where it starts. It is not him. Like, it's literally not him. Because if it was him, then Buffalo would have already been, just like you said at the beginning of the show, Buffalo would have already had the problems that they have. The problems are not him. The problems are this quarterback. And I also think that it also bleeds over into the defense because, like we talked about yesterday, the defense is missing so many people. And their secondary is completely depleted. So I think mentally, Josh feels like he has to like wear a cape and just do everything, for this offense. And I think he's in his head. I think he's overthinking. And McDermott, as a coach, should, if you ask me, he's the one that will probably be the next to go, because that decision with the field goal, with the play, man, you just can't do things like that. Especially with McDermott being as experienced as he is in the National Football League, being around and everything, you cannot make a mistake like that. You just cannot. And to add insult to injury, Breezy, what made it worse was that dude missed it the first time.
He did. He missed it.
And then when they, put the penalty on him or whatever, and then moved him up, and then he made that one.
He missed it.
And if you can look on the sidelines at their faces, like they just knew that he was going to make the next one.
The Buffalo Bills had 12 people on the field.
It's crazy.
I don't know how that's possible.
Right.
On a field goal, it's somebody didn't run off. Somebody miscommunicate. There was a miscommunication, and somebody didn't jog off on that third down or whatever. And next thing you know, 12 men will probably make someone miss. I mean, it's a whole
Right.
extra unblocked guy. So that's why that penalty has to be called.
Yeah.
I know it's silly, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then they give up the field goal. Now, here's my thing. If you look at that game, or if you look at the games that the Buffalo Bills are even losing, we could blame this on Josh Allen, and I'm fine with that. But at the end of the day, it's really not all on him. The Buffalo Bills cannot run the ball. Like, what are we talking?
Right. And they haven't been able to run the ball. We've been talking about that for a long time.
But that's my issue.
Yeah.
And so, Josh Allen is the one that usually leads the team in rushing, just like Lamar Jackson. When those quarterbacks aren't running the ball, it hinders those teams' offenses. Now, I don't know if Ken Dorsey took some of the running action away from Josh Allen and McDermott didn't like it, and that's why they're losing games. Because now, you want to know, look, 19 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. You do the math. 11 interceptions. Not all the interceptions are only on him. I mean, Gabe Davis can't drop a pass and then let it get picked off at the same time. That's what happened in that game. Now, fumbles, it's hard. Quarterback get hit by a big guy, you're hoping he hold on to the ball. But their fumbles happen. If you're a 49er fan, you know it. They happen. They happen. You don't want them to happen, but that's a fumble. But Josh Allen, maybe he's just not seeing the field. Or maybe he's not comfortable with the style of offense that Ken Dorsey was running, and McDermott is like, listen, I'm not getting rid of my quarterback. I mean, is Josh Allen an elite quarterback? Is that what he is? Because last time I checked, everybody said he was elite. And then when I talk about Brock Purdy being elite, he can't be elite. Brock Purdy is putting up way better stats than Josh Allen, elite Josh Allen. Way better.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but the only thing that I said as far as elite goes,
it shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't matter.
It's not been enough time.
You're right, but it shouldn't matter.
Right.
That's my point. So when I say a quarterback is elite, it's because of how they're playing. Will they have messed up games? For sure. But you're looking at Josh Allen, who's been labeled elite after his rookie season. Why can't I label Brock Purdy elite after his rookie season?
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of people that think that Purdy is elite.
And check this out. Today, if I'm not mistaken, last week marked his first full season as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Because remember, he came in week 10.
Yeah.
And then,
That's true.
Yeah. So now he has a full season under his belt. Now, listen, this is not about Brock Purdy. This is about the play from Josh Allen. He has weapons. I don't know what they're going to do going forward. And they're 5-4, Peachy.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills are 5-4. That ain't it. Now, you talked about the defense, and I agree with you. I think their defense, who came into the 2023 season, had a top 5 defense, easily, probably the best secondary in the NFL, and then every one of their secondary players is like out for the season. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's I can't like how the Niners lost all their quarterbacks last year. Mm-hmm. They lost like every secondary piece you can name, plus some linebackers.
Yep.
And so, yes, that hurts the offense, because now your offense is on the field more, and if you're playing from behind, it's tough. And I will say that the Buffalo Bills, their losses, like let's look at their schedule. Like I know they lost to the Jaguars. I said they got 4 losses. They lost to the Jags. They just lost to who did they lose to last night? I just forgot, just that quick.
The Broncos.
They lost to the Broncos. Oh my gosh. Who else did they lose to? Did they lose to they lost to the Patriots, right?
Yeah, I believe they did. Yeah.
Wow.
I think so. I think that they're 5-5 after last night. I think
they're
right.
They're 5-5. All right, so let's go through their losses and wins and losses. All right, here we go. See if I can get them pulled up here. Games. Bam. All right, here we go. Yep. So last loss, they lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Bengals the week before. They beat the Buccaneers. They lost to the Patriots. They barely beat the Giants 14-9. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars 25-20. They blew out the Dolphins, but that's when their defense was almost still intact.
I think that they also lost to the Jets.
I'm getting up, and that's where I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. They beat the Commanders bad. They beat the Raiders bad. They lost to the Jets by 6 in overtime. Mm-hmm. And that was it. That was the first game of the season. I forgot that they lost that game on September 11th.
Yeah. The only thing that I will say, on the other hand, is that, and you actually said it first, and then the more I thought about it, even after like the Jets game, like after week 1, when they hadn't lost like all their defensive players that they had or whatever, you said Buffalo don't look the same.
But I thought I was saying that under the same connotation that Cincinnati didn't look the same.
Right.
Kansas City didn't look the same.
Yeah.
I assumed that they were going to be able to get it together.
Right.
You know, and then it's like, remember, Buffalo didn't have Von Miller at the beginning of the season.
That's true.
And now that they have him back, guess what they're missing now? That crazy secondary that
everybody
they usually
around him. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so weird. But you know what this is? It's called adversity. It's called adversity, Peachy. Like, McDermott has to figure out a way, like, to get his team into some type of winning position. And they started today by firing offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. Like, he is officially gone. Officially gone.
Yeah.
Yep. They lost to Buffalo. Buffalo lost to Jacksonville 25-20. You're absolutely right, Collie. 25-20. So, like, it's interesting to see what are the Bills going to do. How do the Bills rebound? Because their next game, believe it or not, their next game is against the Jets. They lost to the Jets in overtime.
What's the Jets record? Because
the Jets are 4-5.
You talked about Aaron. Have you talked about Aaron Rodgers yet?
No, but Aaron Rodgers swear he coming back.
He said that he's coming back because he believes that his Jets are going to be there in the long run. And the way the AFC East is coming, they might be.
You know what? If the Jets win on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills go to 5-6 and the Jets go to 5-5,
that's what I'm saying.
Aaron Rodgers will be back that following week.
Exactly.
Unless they got a bye week 12. I can't remember if they had their bye yet.
I think that's what he's talking about. It was really crazy because, me and of course a bunch of people were already talking about like how hilarious it is that Aaron Rodgers is talking about coming back to, whatever, because he believes that this Jets team is going to be there,
all I know
in the
is
end.
Whatever doctors they have, I need them doctors.
Me too.
Because that's ridiculous.
Me too. Because my knee is still bothering me. So I need...
Since 1999.
I need the doctors.
So the Jets already had their bye. All right, well, there it is. There it is. I don't remember the Bills having a bye. So the Bills, I think, have a bye in week 12. I think their bye is next week. But we're going to see. Yeah. We're going to see. Now, the Jets going to have to bring it, man. They're going to have to. Look, like I said, Dalvin Cook had a good week. They should be able to run on this Bills defense. Breece Hall should be able to fly, be Breece Hall.
Yep.
It is. The only issue with the New York Football Jets is offensively. They got to find a way to get Garrett Wilson going. Like, Peachy, I feel bad for the kid.
Yeah.
That kid is a star. And you know better than I know that he's a star. I ain't going to say why I know, why I know. But we know why he's a star. And he is just, he can't, damn, man. Him and Aaron Rodgers was about to unleash.
They was about to. They absolutely do. So speaking of the Jets, they just had a report that came out and said they actually had a players-only meeting today.
Ooh.
Per Garrett Wilson. That said,
Captain Garrett Wilson, please report to the locker room. Captain Garrett Wilson,
right?
Second-year player.
Later, after that, is when the team decided to release Michael Carter, one of the most well-liked and respected players in the locker room.
Taking up too many snaps.
Exactly,
that's
all it's about.
He could be well-liked,
right?
But if he's not being utilized, you got to give those reps. Honestly, they need to go to Breece Hall. And if Dalvin Cook is going to be able to give you any juice, you got to get Dalvin Cook in there. Carson, thank you so much. Their bye week is week 13. I knew it was coming up. They just haven't had a bye yet. Woo, that's a long-ass time to be playing football without a bye. Good gosh.
That's almost the end of the season.
Right. 5 games to go. Wow.
But so that was hilarious because it literally came across my notifications when we was talking about that.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But they are like Saleh said that he was sticking with Wilson, that he said that these problems on offense, he said he's not blaming them all on Wilson. And so we'll see. But if Aaron comes back and these Jets make it to the playoffs, oh my goodness. That is really crazy.
So Shades by Shardo wants to know is Garrett Wilson your nephew? So please explain why I don't want to mention Garrett Wilson.
No, he's not. Breezy wouldn't have a problem mentioning him if he was my nephew.
Yes, I would if his ass went to the Ohio State. I sure would have.
But I'm saying, if he was just my nephew and he didn't go to Breezy's school that he hates more than life itself. Garrett Wilson was a wide receiver at the Ohio State University, along with Chris Olave, who are both
Go ahead and just name them all.
Tearing the league up. And then our very own Chase Young.
And Nick Bosa, our very own Nick Bosa.
I know.
Callie, I said the Ohio State. What the hell did I say? Every time I say the Ohio State, you correct me like I ain't saying it right. The Ohio State.
Right.
Y'all better start calling me the Wayne Breezy because that's my name, damn it. The Wayne Breezy.
Hey, T-shirt. Whenever you make your next T-shirts, is what you put that in big. They actually had the Ohio State. They had it trademarked or whatever you call it when you get it, or whatever. So now when these players are, when they do their announcement, things like that, that's what
but Peachy, you know what though? What's the one position that I love from the Ohio State?
I mean,
when those players enter the NFL, do I not support them?
Always. plays.
It's the wide receivers, yo.
Yeah.
Like, I wish the Niners can just get the Ohio State. I hate saying that. The Ohio State
You know
wide
what
receiver.
is annoying, though, Breezy? What's really going to be annoying is when freaking Marvin Harrison Jr. winds up in the NFC West. But it's not with the 49ers.
He's not going to the NFC West.
Because right now they have him mock drafted to the Cardinals.
He's not going to the Cardinals. I bet you that would be the dumbest
he better not go
draft
to the
pick selection of all time.
Not go to the Cardinals.
If we go to the Cardinals, the Cardinals have so much they need offensive line, especially if Kyler Murray finishes strong. Michael Wilson looks really good. They got the speed of Malcolm Brown. Adding a Marvin Harrison wouldn't make sense. But let the Cardinals mess up if they want to.
Right.
Eddie wants to know my take on Michigan. I mean, look, that guy cheated and he's fired. And now Harbaugh's taking the blunt of it. I don't like it. I don't think Harbaugh should be taking it. If anything, it should be something that has to hurt the whole school. But if Harbaugh said, "Yo, I'll take the 3-game ban," it's not even a suspension. Like, he's banned from the games. He's not even suspended. He just can't attend the games, right? Cool. The Michigan Wolverines are just gonna have to figure out how to win. And they did it against Penn State. It was ugly, but they got it done. Now they got to beat Maryland, and then they go home and then they play the Ohio State. So it's going to be fun, right? It's going to be fun. No Harbaugh. Is Harbaugh going to the NFL? I sure hope not. I love him at Michigan. He's a much better college coach. He's got full control. Sometimes I feel like these head coaches, like Kyle Shanahan, with full control, there's too much. It's too much on the plate.
I agree.
It's too much on the plate. It's too much on the plate. No new big injuries, but we do have some injury updates before we get up out of here, Peachy. So here's the cool thing. Let's talk about Jordan Hicks, linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. He's headed to the IR. Cowboys' Leighton Vander Esch is out for the remainder of the season and possibly career-ending. Peachy. He's dealt with a lot of injuries from the neck or whatnot. Do you think he's going to call it quits?
No. No, because there's been NFL players that people have thought that have said that they're not going to, come back. It's just too much going on or whatever. I think that Leighton Vander Esch, I think that he might be done as a Dallas Cowboy. And I don't think that he's going to call it a career. I believe that we'll see him on somebody's roster.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay. That's dope. I mean, I don't like to see players calling it quits due to injury. I know it happens. It's the NFL. But I know it happens. I think this is going to be a big blow to Dallas, like you said earlier. You know what I'm saying? Carson Nemito says Drake Jackson was placed. I don't think Drake Jackson plays another snap for the San Francisco 49ers in 2023.
Right.
The season's done.
Unfortunately.
So, yeah, he was definitely, when he went to the IR on last week, we must have didn't get a chance to mention it because we did the show prior. So thank you so much, Carson, for that. Yeah. It's going to be for Drake Jackson. He could take the rest of the season, and he just got to come back stronger next season. I don't think the Niners are giving up on him, but they needed to go get better, and they got better. And you saw what happened when they got better. Yeah, when they got a better talent there. Last injury I did want to talk about is an injury update. So Nick Chubb is undergoing his second surgery on the ACL. So the first one was successful. Now he's going to undergo the second surgery. And that's good news because I didn't think he was that was nasty, Peachy. That injury was nasty.
I didn't think much like the one that he got in college.
And I didn't think right. And I just didn't think mentally he was going to want to rebound from that. But we will see how it pans out for him. Like, as he comes back. The good news is he's still young. The good news is surgery is way better. We just talked about how surgery. Aaron Rodgers is about to play football again, and he tore his ACL week 1.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, he's had so many surgeries that I don't know what to say about Chubb. I know that he wants to come back. I completely get that he wants to come back, but yeah.
So
I don't know.
And like you said, man, this is tough. It's tough to see this. It was tough to see the injury.
Yep.
But yeah, it's tough. Let's go over some of the players of the week per PFF. All right, Jax hates when players get hurt. We all do. Injuries suck, but we know that they happen. Rodgers was his Achilles. It popped right there on the football field as he was going down. You watched it pop. It's a little bit of an injury. It doesn't require it's not in the knee, so it's in the foot. So yeah, it's a different injury. But like I said, just to see anybody come back from any one of these type of injuries, foot, knee, crazy. Usually the knee, you're out for the whole season. But the Achilles, depending on what position you play, you can come back, right? I mean, if Aaron Rodgers makes it back from this Achilles injury, that's going to be crazy. But thank you, Melissa. All right, let's go ahead and get to the player of the week. It's Dak Prescott. Got to give him a round of applause per PFF. 74.3% completion percentage, 404 yards, 4 TDs. He still threw an interception. I'm petty, right? I'm so petty. I'm petty. I get it. I didn't even mean to say it like that. So shout out to Timothy. That's your man. But 138.3 rating. You know what's cool? When I was going through PFF stuff to present for the show this week, I like the quarterbacks that I saw on their highest grades. And you got Dak Prescott with a 92.2. You got Brock Purdy with a 91.7. And good old Jared Goff at a 90, straight up. All top 3 graded quarterbacks are from the NFC. I think that's pretty dope. Yeah. NFC was balling. NFC was balling.
Which to me is hilarious, Breezy, because at the beginning of the season, we were talking about that the AFC was going to be the one that was going to, dominate this year.
Oh, yeah.
And now, it's not, the AFC is not looking that hot. The NFC is starting to take over that spot for real. So yeah, they definitely are. So
these Niner fans are the cream of the crop.
So Melissa has a really good question here. Which head coach you think holding back their team most? Mine is Brandon Staley. It is 100% Brandon Staley. And I think that the Chargers are going to make some harsh moves next season. It will not look the same.
So what do you mean by holding back though? Well, why do you say Brandon Staley?
Because I feel that I just feel like that he's just not it.
See, for me that's tough, right? Because beginning of the season he was missing his running back. And so then Keenan Allen, who is a top graded wide receiver, probably one of the top receivers in the league all year long, and I know because you got him in fantasy, and every time you start him, he balls out. So that ain't it. So it's not an offensive thing. It's more they just can't figure out their defense. And when you look at this, when you look at the Chargers, damn, defensively they got some stars on that defense, right?
They definitely do. They on their offense that they have, it's not too much as far as the talent go. I think they have enough talent on offense. And they got Eckler, they got their star quarterback. I mean, they have that.
I mean, you talking about he a star, but Felicia says too many close losses.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
I mean, y'all labeled him as elite.
And
I just want to have the conversation of what's elite because I watched this quarterback, Justin Herbert, 2 weeks in a row, give the ball back to the defense when he had an opportunity to win a game. But yet, He's labeled elite because he could throw for 400 yards a game. This is that and the third. But when the game mattered the most, guess what he didn't do? Play elite. So, like, at the end of the day, like, how's that Staley's fault?
Okay, what I was going to say about Staley also makes some bad management decisions during.
So does Kyle Shanahan. Y'all want him fired?
During the game.
So does Kyle Shanahan. Y'all want him fired, though? I'm asking the tough questions, and I want us to be consistent with it because you know what? Kyle Shanahan has to be the worst clock management coach of all time. Worst. Calls timeouts at the wrong time, delay games, all that type of stuff. So, like, I'm just trying to figure it out. Now, I don't like the Chargers game plan. And when you got, like you said, all of this talent, like, what's good? What's good? Could it be it's taking my boy Austin Eckler a little too long to get acclimated back to football shape? Because when he's on, they're good. Like, they're good. They're putting up more points than their defense is allowing. And I think it's a bunch of stuff. Part of it is Staley. I think he'll be the scapegoat for poor execution is what I'm trying to say. And everybody forgets about that part. Everybody forgets execution. I think these players don't execute when they need to, when their number is called. And when you look at a quarterback that's elite, who I'm watching right here on my screen right now, and Justin Herbert, it comes down to that. It comes down to the players executing. Who did I say was the worst, Peachy? Worst is a little extreme, Wayne. I forgot what I said. I don't even know what I said. Oh, he's definitely the worst at clock management. Come on now. Collie, how many times you done cursed him out in this chat? Boy, man, you know I was about to say, man, please. You know exactly what I'm about to say when I say, man, please. Man, please. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, can Staley be better? Yeah. Just like we ask our coaches to be better. But these guys got to go out there and do their jobs. I don't know why their defense is struggling. I can't figure that out to save my life.
If you ask me, honestly, right now, if I was looking at all of the quarterbacks in the National Football League, none of them are elite. Because I feel...
But, okay.
Like, none of them.
Cool.
Like, it's just my opinion. Everybody has one. But the way that these quarterbacks that are supposed to be elite have played this season, none of them have played elite status to what they have. They have some that are on the verge of being elite, some of the younger ones that will, that can be called elite. I still think it's too early to tell on CJ. I still think it's too early to tell on Brock. Like, I'm standing by both of those. Like, I literally do. I do think that both of them. But even Jalen Hurts, like, all these quarterbacks have had some really bad moments, whereas we've had some years where quarterbacks were just, rolling, like, the whole year. Like Pat Mahomes, like in the MVP years, Pat Mahomes and Lamar and everything like that, just rolled through these games. There's quarterbacks that are making a lot of mistakes, like, all through this league. So this year, I don't see any elite quarterbacks this year. So
quarterbacks that are elite, to what you're saying, can't make mistakes.
No, I'm saying that they're just rolling, like they're winning games.
Patrick Mahomes is winning games.
Lost to the Broncos,
but they're 7-2. So, like, they're winning because of Patrick Mahomes
and that Kansas City defense
and Jalen Hurts,
because that defense is really good.
The defense is good, but they're also winning because of their quarterback, and their defense isn't scoring points. Their defense is giving opportunities for their quarterback to get points, but they're winning because of Patrick Mahomes. Like, let's make it clear. Like, and let's look at Philly. You're saying that they don't look elite, but Jalen Hurts is they're 8-1, and it ain't because of their defense. Their defense isn't as great as it was, but especially the secondary. They might got the pass rush, but they're winning. So I agree.
Jalen's out there giving the ball to the other team like quite a bit this year. Now, not as much as the top
all of the top
people are.
All of the top quarterbacks in the league are giving the ball
right,
to
which
the other
is what
team.
I'm trying to say. Like, to me, now. Okay,
yeah.
let me just say it this way. There's no quarterback in the NFL at this moment that is playing elite football. Let me say that. They're not.
So you don't think that San Francisco 49ers quarterback is playing elite football?
No, I do not.
Because of the 3-game losing streak? Because his numbers are elite. He's number 1 in every statistical category.
I just don't see any of them playing elite right now.
Okay. And that's cool. I'm not saying that he's elite. I kind of agree with you. Like, but they already reached the elite status in the NFL. So to say that they're not playing elite is super fair. But they already made it to elite. All I'll be asking is why Brock Purdy not making it to the elite. Jalen Hurts gave you 1 good year. Josh Allen gave us like 1 good year. Justin Herbert gave us 1 good year. You know what all those teams did? Lose. None of them teams won. You know who's playing elite football? You ain't even mention his name. You know what quarterback is playing elite football? You didn't even mention his name? I'll give you an elite quarterback. Jared Goff. Every week, consistent. 1 bad week, but still consistent. I mean, as far as their team losing. Jared Goff is playing elite football. So there must not be a true definition of, like, how does a quarterback reach that elite status? But got to give Detroit Lions Jared Goff some props. He's been consistent, top-notch quarterback in the league all season, even when you took away his running backs. Oh, speaking of running backs, did he come back? Because I ain't getting no love from Gibbs this week. What's their running back name?
Montgomery.
Yes. Did he play?
Yeah, both of them were out there.
Makes sense. Couldn't figure out why the dip and my man Gibbs.
Yeah. It's all like there's quarterbacks that have elite plays during games. I just don't see one that stands out to me because I think it's too early to give it to CJ, and I think it's too early to give it to Brock. I think that by the end of this season, then yeah, if Brock keeps it up and he keeps playing the way that he is,
but see, that's not fair because that's not fair statement. Because if you're saying that CJ Stroud can be considered elite by the end of the season, I'm telling you right now, last week was the end of Brock's season. So is he elite?
I didn't say that. I said that by the end of the season that I could call Brock elite. Like by the end of this season, like by week 18 or like when we get ready to go into the playoffs or whatever.
So the quarterback,
then I can call him that, but I gotta watch him for some more games.
So the quarterbacks that I mentioned that got considered elite after 1 season, like Jalen Hurts, you definitely said he was elite last year. You said he's not playing elite this year, but guess what? He only gave us 1 season and got eliteness. I'm just trying to get the definitions to match up because he gave you 1 season. Brock gave you last week was Brock's first full season. So I'm just trying to say, is it 1 season? What is it for you?
I just think that for right now, I think that he still needs more time, especially like you had mentioned a while ago and thought I was talking about those. The bad games that he has had. So we'll see.
Brock technically only had he hasn't had a bad game. He just had bad quarters.
Yeah, bad moments, which is what I was trying to say. Like I said weeks ago, I think Brock has elite traits, and I think that he can definitely become elite, and he has a lot of elite moments. I just don't consider him to be elite But I'm not one of them that like Josh Allen had 1 year and Josh elite. Like I never called Josh Allen elite when everyone else did.
You called Jalen Hurts elite though.
I always said that it was too early to tell.
That's fair, because the first
Josh
year
Allen.
It was 800 interceptions, and then it was elite, and then now it's back to 800 interceptions. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I know you called Jalen Hurts elite. So I'm just trying to keep us consistent. That's all.
When he went to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure that you understand what I'm trying to get at there. Like he was a Super Bowl participant. So
because he made it to the Super Bowl,
and with his play and the way that he was playing, but I called him elite whenever he like went to the Super Bowl. I called him elite.
So if Brock makes it to the Super Bowl, maybe he'll be considered elite.
Everybody will call him elite, and then
everybody still won't call him. I didn't say win it, because Jalen Hurts clearly didn't win that shit.
No. What I'm saying is that if Brock wins it, then I mean he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, because I do believe that it won't just be because of our defense. I do believe that it is enough to where Brock is more than a game manager for this team. Mm-hmm. That he definitely helps carry this offense.
I agree with Kylie. Like Brock didn't play good against Cleveland, but he did have the good drive. But he played well against the other two teams like Minnesota and Cincinnati. I thought he played decent, but when he had the opportunities to help his team get into position to win, that's when he failed. So he passed the test and the opportunity to get the position to win in Cleveland. Jake Moody misses the field goal, boom, boom, boom. But he was playing piss poor pretty much that game. It was pressure all in his grill up front. The other two games, I thought he played well against Minnesota. It's just that he had the opportunities and he failed. He had the opportunities against Cincinnati before it kind of blew out of proportion.
Yeah, before it just got all crazy. Yeah,
because it was that crazy turnover.
Yep.
In the red zone that kind of just changed the dynamic of the game. Like,
yes.
And look, Peachy's right. Her definition of elite is what it is, and I'm not trying to convince her that Brock is elite. I'm just trying to find out what the hell is elite, because I don't know what it is.
Right.
The standard changes all the way. JM6. So Brock doesn't elevate his team?
No, I don't think that's what he's trying to say. I think because we were talking about CJ, for instance, and what I was saying is that he's saying that he's elevating his team, that he most definitely can get that label if he keeps it up, is what he's saying. He is carrying that Texans offense. I mean, make no mistake about it. They don't hardly have anything on offense. They have switched out people, especially with that O-line. Like what he's doing, like behind that O-line is crazy. Because they don't hardly even have any of the same people that they started out the year with. They have all it's just, it's kind of like a patchwork line. So he's definitely right. But right now, I don't think he's played enough to be considered that. So that's why I can't put him in that category. I can't put him in that elite category yet.
Cool Beans defensive player of the week was Nick Bosa. He had 4 pressures, 1.5 sacks, 1 hit, 1 hurry, 1 batted down pass, 2 stops in the backfield, and a forced fumble. That's a foghorn for our guy Nick Bosa. Rookie of the week is none other than C.J. Stroud. 23 for 39, 59% completion percentage, 356 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, and 87.1 quarterback rating. And like y'all said, he put the team on his back and they got a victory. Offensive line of the week was the Indianapolis Colts against the New England Patriots. They only allowed 3 pressures against that defense.
So crazy.
That is ridiculous. Peachy, I want to get to these power rankings, all right, because they're a little different. We'll talk a little bit about the game of the week, and we Audi 5,000. Got lots of stuff to do. Cleveland Browns are, Jacksonville Jaguars fall to number 10. Cleveland Browns are at number 9. All right. Dallas Cowboys move up to number 7. Miami Dolphins, number 8. Baltimore Ravens, who took an L, at number 5. Cincinnati Bengals, who took an L, number 6. Kansas City Chiefs, who didn't play, moved down 1. All right. to the and then you got the Detroit Lions, who's moving on up.
Yeah.
All right, at number 4, you got the San Francisco 49ers at number 2, and the Philadelphia Eagles at number 1. They got the best record in the NFL, just like in 2022. They're about to hit the road, head to Kansas City. That is your updated version of the power rankings. Let's get to the games of the week. I put 2 down here. I meant to do a poll question, Peachy, because I'm curious to know what do the people feel the game of the week from these 2 choices, the Bengals versus Ravens. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and put the poll question inside the chat and see how the community feels about what the game of the week is. I feel like this thing is just so weird. All right, so game of the week, you got Bengals versus Ravens, Eagles versus Chiefs. Peachy, you go ahead and talk to them.
Let's see. So I am actually going to go with Eagles Chiefs Monday Night Football. I think that's going to be a huge game Thanksgiving week to roll into Thanksgiving with. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, what else can you ask for?
2 non-elite quarterbacks.
I knew you were going to say that.
You got dang right I was going to do that.
Ah, Lord.
But no, like
it's going to be a really good game.
It is going to be a good game. You got I know I'm an asshole. Okay. But listen.
No problem.
Eagles versus Chiefs, 2 good defenses. 2 If I had to give a nod to the offense, I think I would give it to the Eagles because they can run the ball. I think they have a better offensive line.
Yep.
I just I like that. I like that game a lot. I do. It is Monday night. Monday night football games have been relatively boring. But I'm hoping that one isn't. I'm hoping that they decide to come in and it's offense. I don't want to see any defense. Matter of fact, the defenses shouldn't even show up. I want a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the Philadelphia Eagles struggle in Kansas City. Peachy, who would you pick to win that game?
I'm going to root for the Chiefs because we're right behind Philly, and I need Philly to drop down and lose the game.
I could dig it.
I'm gonna no. But in all serious though, I don't know. I haven't even made that pick yet because I'm really just trying to figure out what's gonna happen. I know that Philly already has an edge because they have AJ Brown, and that dude can just catch anything no matter where it is. Philly is still trying to get their new receiving corps kind of acclimated. Hardman, even though he had been in that, in that system before, was still trying to, get his legs and get everything together and everything like that. So we'll see what happens. I have a feeling, yep. And there's my son right there. I was gonna say, is he listening? Because he's probably gonna be mad. I can't believe you picked against my Eagles.
Yo, don't be mad at me. I tried to create the poll and I put it on an old show.
Oh.
I'm it kept saying error.
But sorry, K-Mac. But that's what I want to happen because of the rankings, the way they are. So, it is what it is.
Peachy, why is everybody typing it in the damn chat? Why don't they just click the poll?
I have no idea.
And then we got an error from this. What is going on here?
YouTube's probably just acting up.
That's not even YouTube. That's Twitch. What does Twitch need errors for? Anyway, your son didn't start watching the show until you mentioned Eagles. I think that's funny. Number 2, I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. No, I'm sorry. I want the Chiefs to win this game, but I have a funny feeling the Eagles will win this game. I just have a funny feeling. I want the Chiefs to win. Mm-hmm. You just talked about how they lost to Denver. In Denver. I know they're going to be at home. Can the Eagles get it done there? I just feel like if they can find a way to run the ball, they'll be just fine. Is Jalen Hurts healthy coming off of his bye? That's going to be the question, right? That's going to be the question. Like, and I don't even want the Chiefs to win, but I have no choice but to want the Chiefs to win because, like you, I want Philly to be 8-2, and you call it what you want. All right, now my game of the week though is Bengals versus Ravens because the AFC North. I'm scared of the AFC North. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm scared of the AFC North. We only beat the Steelers.
Right. Right. That's crazy.
Like, the only team we beat was the Steelers, and I don't think we're going to beat the. I don't think we're going to beat the Ravens. I'm just going to keep it a buck.
I have that as one of our losses.
I have that as one of our losses. So right now we're currently 1-2 against the AFC North. Don't like our chances, but
so bad.
At least one of these teams will be down. Now I need the Ravens to beat the freaking Bengals. It pushes them further down.
Yes.
And I think the Ravens win. Now both teams are coming off losses. The question was, does Jamar Chase play? He played last week and was balling on a bad back. So if the key is if T. Higgins plays.
Right.
And they didn't trade him, so he's got to play. Right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't play, Ravens winning all day. If he plays, it's going to be a good game.
Right.
But it's Thursday night, Peachy.
And Thursday nights, you know how they are. They're so weird.
They're boring, man.
They're so weird. The weirdest things happen on Thursday night football. Like I've never. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I do not know. They literally just said that Trey Hendrickson returned to practice Tuesday in a limited capacity. So he did. So apparently he got hurt during the game. That's what happened. Because I knew there was something about Hendrickson, and I couldn't remember what it was. So that's what it was. He got hurt during the game. But he's back limited, so we'll see what happens.
We would have beat Cleveland if Brock Purdy wasn't trash that game. How about that?
Here we go.
You really want to have this conversation, bro?
Oh, God.
I'm just saying. Bad game for Brock. That was the game Deebo Samuel got injured, and we couldn't adjust too. I don't know if you remember that. And that was the game Trent Williams got injured, and he was limping out there. So I will say Brock Purdy probably would have played better had Deebo and Trent not been out the game. Even though Trent continued to play, he was still beat up, and so Deebo literally didn't play. No decoy, no nothing. Once he went into the locker room, he never came back.
No motion, no nothing. We just out there playing ball.
It was a wrap. I'm just messing with you, Kylie. Peachy, what a great show. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. They vote? Everybody's voting Eagles Chiefs. 75% of the votes, Eagles Chiefs. That's a Monday night game. Like you said, Peachy, that kicks off Thanksgiving week. It's going to be a good one. I'm still going with the Ravens, Bengals. It's AFC North battle. The AFC North has been a great division in football this year. It's a weird division. The stinky Steelers find ways to win. The Browns are finding ways to win. Didn't Watson get hurt in the game and didn't come back?
He did. Yes. Yep, he did. And still managed to come back and have those drives towards the end of the game.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
We got our super chat, Peachy. We got to read this before we get out of here.
Thank you, Gavin.
Gavin says, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Multiply times 5. I like what you did there. I don't respect nobody till they give me 40. We got the leash and we'll be walking the dogs. I like this. I like this comment. But Lamar Jackson doesn't lose to the NFC, yo. He got a crazy, weird record out there against the NFC, especially the West. It's weird, bro.
Yes.
He just plays different. It's like the Niners, I don't know. But this is a different Lamar Jackson. Like, which Lamar are we going to get? Are you going to get the one that lost to, Gardner Minshew, which...
We'll see.
I don't know. But listen, I'm all for it. I just said that... Oh, here he go. He always got to defend himself. Yo, I said Brock wasn't good. Right. My point is, if he was better... we wouldn't have needed Jake Moody to win that game. So Brock got one job too.
Melissa wants to know if you're going to do a call in on the Wayne Breezy show this week.
Probably not, because I need tomorrow. Son has a half a day, so I probably won't do anything tomorrow. And Friday, John is going to be on the show. But if I do something tomorrow, then that will be the call-in portion. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, great show. Hope you guys love the All 32 review. It's been fun talking about the NFL and not just the Niners. I think I look forward to this show. We get to big up other teams, but and I think that's fun. It's fun because we usually trashing other teams. Yo, y'all are crazy. You guys are crazy. Carson says aloha from Hawaii. Moody is the definition of one job. Gammon, you know what? Y'all are a mess.
Wow.
Hey, I tell you what, he hasn't missed since. Let that sink in. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We out, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.